Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We are out here today for our weekly roundup, and we actually had a pretty good week. So Shadowfax got his hoofs trimmed, so he looks good. Yes, you look good. You got hay in your hair, but you're a very good-looking pony. Yeah, you're such a good-looking pony. And he's very dirty because it's still pretty wet, even though all our snow pretty much has melted. There's a little bit still in the tree lines, but for the most part, the snow has melted. So that means it's actually really wet, so he's been kind of smooching around in the mud. But, you know, that's horses for you. It's okay if your pony's a little muddy in the spring. Our one's not too muddy. She's still muddy. And over here, the quail are doing really well. Hopefully we'll start hatching their eggs in the next, next couple weeks. Hopefully we can hatch their eggs. They're mostly up in the house because that's where their food is, so that their food doesn't get all yucky. So their food is in the upper part of the house. Rabbits are pretty good. Mr. Falcon has eaten his house, and we just kind of have to live with that. So... So I'm doing a new rabbit house for that pen because he's kind of eaten his house. It happens. The rabbits, they chew on wood. In other news, Tristan has been setting up for a bonfire in honor of his 18th birthday. Don't know how I got old enough to have an 18-year-old son, but I did. Not good, not fair. Anyway, what I really wanted to talk about this week is picture perfect coops, because a lot of people go online and they see people with, you actually have to stand up if you want to reach it all the way. She's like, I don't want to stand up, I'm broken. Well, stand up and you can lick the salt rock. Yeah. She's like, no. She got her feet trimmed too, so her feet look fantastic. You know, her little tiny goat feet look fantastic. Anyway, so a lot of people, hi Tequila. A lot of people go online. Yes, friends forever. Friends forever. Yeah. A lot of people go online and they see these picture perfect coops, right? They see, oh, look at how nice that barn looks. Look at how beautiful that is. I can't have anything that beautiful. I got a pile of junk behind the barn, or I got, a roll of ripped up wire that I haven't taken to the dump, or whatever, or I got a panel here to stop Shadowfax from jumping over the dang fence in this corner, whatever. But you see a lot of like perfect coops, and then you look around your yard and you go, nah, you dang pile of junk. We all have junk piles. Now, I happen not to censor what I film, so sometimes you'll see my pile of junk over here if I happen to be filming in this area, or you'll see this metal panel, or you'll see that ripped up wire, or a bird just flew right over my head. Excuse me. Don't hit me. So you'll see a lot of my junk because I don't really care if people see it, right? You'll see an unoccupied half a coop over there or whatever. So, you'll see there's a kennel sitting there. That, to be fair, that kennel is over top of our horseshoe pit, just so that nobody fell on it in the winter, because you can't see it through the snow. So to be fair, there's a reason for that. But when I'm filming, I don't really shy away from showing you the fact that we got all this junk here, especially because we just moved here last year. There's a bunch of junk in the trees and stuff that we still have to get rid of, and I don't really shy away from showing that. But sometimes if you're looking at online people filming, they'll stand over here and they'll make sure you can't see that pile of junk, and they'll make it look all neat and make everything picked up. Every last bit of poop is picked up and everything looks so perfect. They're doing that to show you when it does look perfect. Yeah, my pen here looks perfect sometimes too. When I've picked everything up and given it a good rake, and then it looks perfect. It's like inside our barn there. It looks perfect when I've made it look perfect, and sometimes it looks perfect in the filming. Dogs are over here. But for a lot of the time, it doesn't look perfect. And why doesn't it look perfect? It's because it's not. So Sometimes when you're looking at things online, you see all these majestic coops and these beautiful barns, and take a minute to realize that they look like that because someone made them look like that right before they started filming. Okay? It's not like that all of the time. Their coop is as messy as your coop, I promise. Okay? Their coop is a disaster sometimes. They're filming right after they've cleaned it. So the reason I bring this up is because sometimes people feel really bad because they can't keep their coop or their barn as beautiful as some of the stuff they see online. That's true. You can't sometimes. Sometimes you can. So if your stuff doesn't look perfect, okay, Vodka looks perfect. He's a perfect pony. He's not a pony. He's a dog. He's big enough to be a pony. Tequila's in a bush. So if your stuff doesn't look as perfect, don't beat yourself up. It's okay. Are your animals happy? Are they healthy? Are they sometimes clean? And I say sometimes clean because rolling in the mud is kind of a thing. Here comes Tequila. Good girl. And there's Shadowfax wanting water. He sees Tristan playing with the kitty. So if your stuff doesn't look perfect, if your garden's not perfectly manicured, if your pony's a little bit dirty, if you haven't cleaned your chicken coop since last week just because you haven't gotten to it yet, it's okay. We all do that. We all playing with the kitty. But we all do that. We all have that. Okay, we all have a messy yard, and it only looks perfect when we've made it look perfect. So just remember that when you are seeing these absolutely beautiful coops and barns, you're seeing what the person filming wants you to see. Okay? You're seeing exactly what they want you to look at. They're making sure not to turn the camera to the pile of junk behind the coop. So your stuff looks just as perfect as everyone else's when you've made it look that way. Okay? So it's just a reminder that nothing's perfect. I mean, I got all this junk and you don't often see that junk because often I'm not pointing that way when I'm filming. But yeah, everyone's got piles of junk. Everyone's got stuff that isn't necessarily exactly where it should be. That's just the way it is. So, you know, if your animals are happy, they're healthy, and they're relatively clean, that's all that matters. Anyway, that is about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. We'll see you tomorrow.